All right, so I'm going to be recording off my phone for this assignment because the audio on my MacBook wasn't working for some reason. So hopefully this works and goes smoothly. So this is a 30-second clip of a runner, a D1 runner, assuming from Eastern Michigan University running. And it's in slow-mo, so I'm just going to play it quickly just so you have an idea of how it looks and how it's analyzed. And again, the key main difference between running versus walking is that in walking, you at least have at all times either a double limb support or single limb support, whereas with running, you have a flight time where both legs are in the air. And in this case, we can kind of see it like even right about there, both legs are not on the ground and they're both in the air. And so again, that main difference is with running, you experience less time in stance and more time in swing. And so as far as analysis goes, I'm kind of looking at his left leg right here, the one closer to us. And the main thing is that he is a rear foot striker, as we can see right here. So he lands on that back part of his foot, basically on his heel. And as we can also see is that foot angle is pretty large. If I had to estimate, maybe 10-15 degrees of foot angle, and it's in that plantar flex position. And so we wouldn't really see that if it wasn't a rear foot striker, but if it was a forefoot striker. But again, we have a pretty large foot angle here. And as far as his distance from the center of his mass, well, that center of mass is kind of right along his trunk area, S2, down S2. And that leg is pretty far out. And so as a result, he's going to have a pretty significant braking force. And one thing I would note is that because he's running on a treadmill, that braking force he may not be experiencing that strong of a braking force because that treadmill is moving in the same direction as his foot. Whereas if he was running outside on concrete on a track, that ground reaction force is going to be more prominent. And as a result, what we might see is that trunk kind of lean forward for that due to that ground reaction force. And so looking at his knee angle, it's pretty much extended. You can argue maybe that's slightly flexed, but it's pretty extended for the most part. And again, that ankle is plantar flexed. But then as we go into the loading phase, what we're going to see is that knees start to flex and then that ankle start to dorsiflex. So we see that dorsiflexing going on. I'll play it again, dorsiflexing, and then that knee really begins to flex, and then boom. So again, that ankle begins to dorsiflex during that loading phase, and then right before swing, it has that toe off, and that's when we see that plantar flexion. So right there, we see that plantar flexion, rapid plantar flexion going into swing, and then we have that dorsiflexion to clear that toes. And so as far as cadence goes, I couldn't really get an accurate count because one, it wasn't a minute long, but two, more importantly, it was in slow-mo. But in this video, I counted 12 steps. As far as a therapeutic standpoint, because again, he has that heel strike going on, he's going to put on more work for those dorsiflexors, so that tibia is anterior. So one thing probably really do to stretch or strengthen that dorsiflexors, and again this position kind of causes that strain on those calf muscles, the soleus gastroc. So maybe strengthen those as well as stretch those out. Also, I'm assuming since he's landing like this, he might be experiencing shin splints. So maybe address that, ice it, whatnot. And again, if I'm assuming since he's a D1 runner, he's been running like this for years to come, so it'd be hard to change. But if he had some sort of knee pain, some advice I would have is try to increase your cadence, try to take shorter steps. By taking shorter steps, you're increasing cadence, but also you're reducing that distance from the center of mass, which both help to deal with that knee pain and reduce that load and stress on that knee tissues. So